Hey there, it's Scry here with another game review, and today's review is going to be Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain.
More like Metal Gear Solid 5. Shit, it's done already. Tactical carpal tunnel syndrome.
This game has me both feeling happy about it and also hating the company who made it for the treatment of the game's creator. But before I go on a tirade, let's get to the game review. And since there's a lot to cover, Faye will be here with me to cover some of the things with me. I'll let her start things off.
Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain bears the unfortunate burden of being seen as the last release in the series that many in the sphere of gaming will take seriously. It's a difficult position when possibly the best game released this year can't be talked about without also bringing up the controversy surrounding its publisher Konami and their questionable, if not outright alienating business practices. Rest assured, however, that while the game has the odd flaw here and there, it's remarkably easy to overlook those flaws.
In terms of narrative, Metal Gear Solid 5 takes a stab at something new. The hour-long cutscenes of the series' past console entries are cast off in favor of more conventional length scenes. The story takes place some years after the life-shattering events of the prequel demo for purchase Ground Zeroes. You play as Big Boss, now known as Punished Venom Snake. On the warpath for revenge, primary goals are to find the people who put you in a hospital bed and return the favor, all the while rebuilding the forces and resources lost from when we did establish basically the exact same kind of military without a tradition back in the PSP game Peace Walker. Most of the game's lore is handed to you in the form of in-game cassette tapes, and you're able to listen to them at your great leisure, prowling the two simply massive main environments the game has to offer. This can be quite a convenience for those who haven't played previous installments of the Metal Gear franchise, as a lot of the series' chronological lore between Metal Gear Solid 3 and Metal Gear Solid 5 is covered in sound clips that average about 5 minutes each, max. Having all that filler at your disposal while you wander the huge expanses the game has to offer, as well as many of the top hits from the 80s,
Take on me? Seriously? Is this game reading my diary?
is something of an obvious nod on Kojima's part to the Grand Theft Auto series of open world games. This approach to world building does demand a certain level of participation on the part of the player, but the game takes the opportunity every now and again to remind you that you have an in game Sony Walkman, so any chance that you encounter something character mentions and you don't care about it, it's possibly on you. I say possibly because where the game succeeds in doing something new with how it tells its story, its plot and pacing does leave something to be desired.
The game's missions can be approached in any number of ways, and can often be taken out of order. As you play, you are given main missions, which are loosely related to progress towards the next story mission at their worst, while actual story-related missions bring out the best combination of sandbox stealth problem solving in the game at their best. Besides this, there are side ops, but these are really just semi-dynamic side quests that use areas that you may have already visited to present new and interesting challenges to the region for you to tackle.
As far as presentation goes, the graphics are killer and the sound is top notch. The PC, a platform notorious for getting half assed ports of the blockbuster big name titles, got a completely flawless port to the surprise of countless skeptics. It's like an absurd, silky smooth, buttery animal in motion. Never once did it stutter on my machine, and only once did it crash. And that was entirely my fault because I was fiddling with the files. And part of the reason for that was on the PC, you can even copy music from your own personal library to the game's designated music folder. This enables you to play your favorite tracks from the far flung future of the 90s and beyond, and the game will still play a slight filter over said music, depending on where it's being played from. It's a gorgeous touch that I sincerely wasn't expecting, and I'd been following this game like a hawk.
The voice acting is alright. It's definitely the best Metal Gear has ever been, and the performance capture helps it along immensely. Say whatever you will about Konami or even Kojima, but the dedication to satisfy Western audiences with their release cannot be denied. English voice actors had their faces performance captured as they acted their lines, which is matched to the faces of the characters, making this less of a game and more of a cinematic experience. Christopher Randolph is in rare form, and Troy Baker proves yet again why he and Nolan North are unconsciously contending for single most relied upon male voice actor in gaming. Longtime fans may get a sense that Baker truly knows Ocelot, and brings a perfect balance to the character between his youthful arrogance of Metal Gear Solid 3 and his gruff and uncompromising mercilessness for the canon's future.
One character that can't be left out, however, is of course Big Boss. Kiefer Sutherland brings a new voice to the table, standing in the shoes of longtime series lead David Hayter. While he doesn't do even a remotely bad job, players of the previous games in the series won't be hearing Snake, they'll be hearing Kiefer. It's impossible to separate Sutherland from previous roles mentally, so on the rare moments that Big Boss does speak, it's like an odd crossover where someone's gone and spilled some 24 phone booth in your Metal Gear, and they don't mix like the peanut butter and chocolate you might have been hoping for.
Play, however, is nigh perfect. It's baffling just how much possibility has been crammed into this game. See a vehicle? You can seal it. Want to take those 4 people in a jeep back to your mother base? Not only can you use ludicrous balloon-based extraction to steal them and add them to your own forces, with enough people in your R&D lab, you can develop a special balloon that will steal the jeep with them in it. The hilarity doesn't stop until you start encountering animals you just feel like you want to have for your personal zoo or animal preserve. As the game is quick to inform you, the full-time extraction system not only steals at soldiers for potential use at your own base, it gets the body out of sight and out of mind so enemies don't become suspicious when they encounter the confused Russian you knocked out by running into him while wearing a cardboard box with a bikini model poster glued to it.
The mix of seriousness and absurd is a long running staple of the Metal Gear series, as is a tradition of tight, precise controls, and on this front, the game delivers yet again. At most, a context sensitive button press may have you manning a searchlight rather than balloon extracting its unconscious previous owner, but seldom is the time that this truly aggravates or gets in the way. Your ability to effortlessly navigate a landscape to distance frequently between wilderness to patrol outpost to military base and back again is so fluid, it's not uncommon to completely take it for granted, entirely forgetting that this is something you don't see in games every day.
A new feature that comes with Metal Gear Solid 5 is the buddy system. This allows you one of 4 companions at any given time. With no intention on spoiling them for those who haven't yet had the opportunity to grab them, it's very important to note that they offer distinct advantages depending on your approach to your missions. One may help you get to your target location very quickly without having risk rousing suspicion by taking out everyone on the way to stealing a car. Another may grant you a special early warning detection of enemies or dangerous animals out in the wilderness, while yet another may be unparalleled asset when it comes to infiltrating isolated pockets of dense military occupation. Applicable buddies have a bond level, and this can be increased to gain the access to new weapons, abilities, and extras you can develop to better equip your favorite wingman, increasing their effectiveness all in war.
There's also a semi-worthwhile PvP system wherein you invade another player's mother base in order to steal their troops and resources, or to retrieve whatever they've stolen from you. It's an interesting mechanic that opens up gameplay to enemy player bases for infiltration, but its appeal is tilted to the more hardcore players, thirsting for higher difficulty challenges. The concept is novel, but not fully realized. With the possibility of the player returning to their base to assist their army, it can also be an exercise in frustration before deciding to simply quit whenever you discover that someone's home.
With all the positive, it would be disingenuous to gloss over the major flaws of the game. Thankfully, they're few and far in between, but significant nonetheless. Easily one of the best characters in the game, in terms of narrative and character, is undermined by their presentation. While Quiet has a canonical reason for why she dresses the manner she does, it still seems silly that a more practical look couldn't be considered. Even so, it can almost be guaranteed that if you're able to look more than skin deep, you'll find an impressively deep and moving character. It doesn't really excuse the silly, superfluous fish stockings, but you may find it easy to overlook depending on your personal tastes.
Where the game truly falls short is in the endgame. Phantom Pain seems a more appropriate title for this game, given that the end feels much like there's something is meant to be there. Many people delving into special edition DVD that came with their package have reported that there was indeed meant to be an extended epilogue mission, giving the game that epic conclusion it deserved, but it was cut short for one reason or another.
My guess is this is where they threw Kojima under the bus.
This is all too clear by the time you finish Metal Gear Solid 5. While not even a remotely bad game, the ending feels as though it's been hollowed out, and is altogether incomplete, presumably to be released at a later date as DLC. Despite those arguable flaws, as a game, Metal Gear Solid 5 has most likely surpassed all previous entries in the series. Somehow, the elements that have made their way from every Metal Gear game into Metal Gear Solid 5, solidifying it as an experience that is definitely Metal Gear and continuing the pedigree of innovation in the stealth action genre.
No matter how you feel about the publisher or the developer, this is a game that is worth your time and money. Whomever you decide to support beyond this is your own choice, but quality deserves to be rewarded. And Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain displays quality in spades.
As others have said, and as the tradition continues here, this is undoubtedly a Hideo Kojima game, but his team is no less responsible for the perfect beast they came together to bring to the world, despite the odds and conditions that they have faced. They deserve thanks for this game, and you absolutely deserve to play it.
Just remember to cover the Konami logo when you do.
And that's it for this episode. This has been Scry and Faye here with the game review, and we have a lot more to come. And as always, have a great day. And for this episode's mini blurb, you get to see me fuck up my lines for about a minute and a half just to try and finish one little scene that I had to do like 5 takes of, which is amazing because I was able to do everything in like 1 or 2 takes, no problem. But this one was just, I don't know what, but here, enjoy some hilarious bullshit. As others have said, and as the tradition continues here, this is undoubtedly a Hideo Kojima game, but his team is no less responsible for the perfect beast they came together to bring to the world, despite the odds and conditions that faced them. They deserve thanks for a game, and you absolutely deserve to play it. As others have said, and as the tradition continues here, this is undoubtedly a Hideo Kojima game, but his team is no less responsible for the perfect beast that they came together to bring to the world, despite the odds and conditions that faced them. They deserve... Damn it. As others have said, and as others have said, and tradition... Fucking A, come on, really? This might actually go and along with a small rant about how I can't do this shit. Okay. All right. Okay. You can say it. You can do it. You can do it. As others have said, and as the tradition continues here, this is undoubtedly a Hideo Kojima game. I didn't even say his fucking name right that time.